than had been visible 5 minutes before. Maisie glanced behind her to see if their instructor, Mr. McRobbie, was watching. But he was talking to another recruit further up the line of trees. So she let her axe head rest on the ground. She had been issued the £6 axe when training began, but right now it felt like a £40 sledgehammer. She reached into her pocket and withdrew her whetstone, the smooth, flat stone she used to set her blade. Mr. McRobbie had drummed into them the importance of having a whetstone with them at all times to keep the cutting edge sharp and clean. But Maisie had discovered another use for it. She laid the stone, warm from her body heat, onto the blisters of her hands, one by one, sighing as the discomfort was eased, if only for a few seconds. Still Dot was hacking away at the tree. Maisie sighed. "Do you want me to finish that off for you? We've got a dance to go to tonight, remember, and the way you're going, you'll still be slapping at it at midnight." "Oh!" grunted Dot with one more swipe. "What am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm doing it the way he showed us, and I've got blisters a mile deep to prove it, but I don't ever make any difference at all. Bloody thing." Dot kicked the toe of her boot at the trunk, and there was an ominous creaking sound, as if the tree were about to topple. Dot recoiled and jumped clear, but the tree stayed where it was. Maisie burst out laughing. "Perhaps you should kick the tree into submission." "Oh, get lost," Dot retorted, but then she began to laugh too. "I only want to find one thing on this training course that I can actually do properly, because cutting down trees certainly isn't it." Maisie felt sorry for Dot. She was shorter and slighter than Maisie, though certainly not the smallest of the women in their group. Yet Dot couldn't seem to get the hang of any of the techniques Mr. McRobbie had shown them. After only 2 weeks, Maisie already felt quite competent at using the tools they had been given so far. But Dot was not progressing at all. That fact was not only making Dot anxious, it was starting to worry Maisie too. They were only 2 weeks into their 6-week training course, but it had been made clear that anyone could be sent home at any time for failing to make the grade. She couldn't bear it if her new friend were thrown off the course. Who would Maisie have to talk with and work beside then? The other women doing the Timber Corps training were all very nice, but that was the problem. They were all women, in their 20s and 30s. Only Dot was close to Maisie in age, and even then Dot was already 19, almost 2 years older than Maisie. But it was comforting to have a friend of roughly her own age, someone who treated her like a teammate rather than a child. Maisie had certainly felt like an adult last month when she'd walked into the recruiting office in Glasgow and told the sergeant behind the desk that she wanted to join the Women's Auxiliary Air Force, or even the Auxiliary Territorial Service. She was all ready to argue with him that since she was a grown woman taking control of her life, she didn't need to finish her final year at school, because it was about time she did her bit for the war effort. But the sergeant hadn't argued with her. He'd instead pointed her to the next office, where a friendly woman told her with a smile that at 17 she was still too young to become a WAF or a Navy Wren, or even to join the ATS. Imagining the smug expression on her father's face as she returned home with her mature and independent tail firmly between her legs, Maisie tried not to whine. "So, is there nothing I can do instead?" "There's the Women's Land Army," the woman replied. "They take land girls from 17 if you fancy working on a farm. It's hard work, but if you like the outdoor life." Maisie could rather see herself walking through fields of golden corn, swaying gently in the summer breeze, chewing lazily on a stalk of barley.